the whole nation has been disappointed once again. Bafana missing out on the World Cup. You're the last man one of the last few people to play in a World Cup where you actually qualified for. Why? I mean, are we not good enough to make this World Cup? What's gone wrong, really?
If we're not good, if we can't qualify for the AFCON, why would we have that privilege to qualify for the World Cup? You know, I think there's a lot of question marks. I believe that we've got a talent. It's how we use that talent, because we can blame the coaches, we can blame the players, but is there a structure that supports football to be successful in this country and maintain and sustain that success, which is one thing that we have to look at very, very close, because it's not only about running out of the field of play and playing. It's not about getting any coach, because you can get the best coach in the world, but if the structure is not right, I don't think we can move forward. So for us is to get back together. You know, get new ideas, because football has changed. Football has moved on. Football has become young. You know, there's a lot of money, you know, and I think for us, our focus has shifted a bit, and we're focusing at the wrong direction.
Do you think we've been left behind by the rest of the world?
It seems like we're lacking behind. I mean, after we've hosted such great events like the World Cup, the AFCON, the Confederation Cup. I mean, we should be. I mean, I'm talking about in Africa. We should be top 3 in Africa. Actually, let's say top 5, given the opportunities we had in hosting great events and opportunities to evolve the sport in this country and make sure that consistently we perform, and not only just perform, but perform in terms of qualifying, perform in terms of winning games, success, especially here at home.
And if you look at how we were supposed to be winning games here at home, we started the campaign not too badly. We had 4 points in the bag. But do you think there was a disruption in terms of when we lost the coach and then we had to hire a coach mid-campaign?
If we were consistent before, I don't think that will hamper the team that much, unless there's a huge change in terms of players. But if you look at the team that we had, we've always had those players, which is very important, because if you want a successful team, which is very consistent, you need to play the same team or same players, and the squad has to be the same. You know, for a period of time where, you know, the players can gel together, they can know each other better, and they get to know the coaches, because, you know, they're all internationals, most of them, and surely they know their responsibilities. It's not much of work, but as I said, that most of the influence is upstairs. You know, I think if the structure can be proper in supporting the national team, and again, the plan. What is our vision? What do you want to achieve going forward? We've seen that we've lost support because you know, as a country, we've set a standard for ourselves. So there's a lot of expectations from the fans, and especially when it comes to qualifying and competing in those great tournaments. So when it comes to performing consistently like that, we need to be playing well. I mean, the results don't count most of the time, but if our vision is to compete consistently and play well, at least there will be an improvement, and that improvement will bring success at the end.
Already after this failed campaign, people are calling for Stuart Baxter's head.
We only just hired.
You know how South Africans are. So
for sure.
Do you think is it right to keep on changing coaches, and is he still the right man for the job to take us forward?
I think obviously changing coach is not a good thing. obviously destabilize the team. And it depends as well who we bring in and on what condition that we bring the coach, because the vision, it's not to bring the coach for instant success. It's an ongoing progress where it's not about the senior team, but it's about football as a whole. Where you start from the under 17 and coming to the senior team, because there should be that progress where we produce players that can compete every time, especially when it comes to Africa. So for us, I think Stuart Baxter was the right person to be given the opportunity, especially with his CV. He knows our players. But again, it's not only that. It's about the players. It's about Stuart Baxter. It's all about Safa. It's a lot of elements that are really involved. So once you get that right, I think we'll go the right direction.
So just to put you on the spot, you've spoken constantly about the elements coming together. Well, we've changed coaches, we've changed players, generation of players, but Safa still remains with the same old heads.
For sure.
Does that need to change?
For sure. Yeah, for sure. I think, I mean, I respect all the guys there at Safa. I mean, Danny, the president, we respect all of them that's involved, but they've done their job. They've done absolutely great to get Safa where he is now. But obviously to move forward and catch up with our counterparts, we need new ideas, and which requires young or experienced, the players to get involved in order to push it forward. I think yes, things have to change, and we always say change is always good, because the important thing is the vision that we have for football in the country. And obviously, I think as ex-players, some of them that aspire to be coaches, some of them they want to be administrations. I think they should be given that opportunity.
And what about you? We've heard reports in the media. I wanted to hear it from yourself. Do you have ambitions of becoming the president of SAFA?
I've said before that I wanna give back to the country. I think that's one reason I came back, actually. That since I'm back and that's I've been passionate about football and about our country, and having contributed so much, I think it's our turn to take over, or it's our turn to make sure that we change things around and get involved and make sure that at least we there's the light at the end of the tunnel. We get our national team to where it belongs. But not only that, I don't want to talk about the national team. I just want to talk about the whole structure in terms of football as a whole, whereby you've got the under 10, the ladies team, the men's team, and then going forward, which is very, very crucial.
And if you were given the chance
to
be SAFA president, where would you start? What would you do? What would you change?
To be honest, I mean, it's a tough one. It's a good question. It's a good question, but obviously you look into yourself first, who we are and what we stand for, and what we want to achieve with the association, and we plan the vision forward.
And you speak about the under 10s, but we've had a vision 2022. But do you think that's still on track, or do you need to go deeper into it?
No, it's still on track. Obviously, I mean, you've seen, I mean, the last few days we needed to qualify. I mean, the vision should have started already. But if you've got, not to disrespect any of the players, but you've got players like Simpiwe Chabalala coming into the national team, it says something about our football or our squad. But again, we need the best that we have in order to inspire the young ones coming up. So, but we need to give those young ones up, the ones who are up and coming, a chance to taste and to have that experience, because it's a risky job. It's a risky job in order to have the players that can compete, you're going to have to take all those youngsters and play them. Because if you don't play them, you won't know, and you won't give them any of the experience. So I think that's one thing that we need to sort out, especially with the coaches, where the communication has to be better. Not just the coaches of the national team, but with the coaches of the football league as well, where that's where we get the players from.
Do you think we have enough local coaches that that could train or are trained enough to train the lower leagues that are in a professional level?
Yeah, loads. I think we've got a lot of them. I mean, Helman Kelele is one of them. Who's done the badges. I mean, we had Peter, we had Steve Compella that those young ones are looking up to. I mean, they're doing a great job, in the PSL. So there's no doubt about the amount of coaches, at that level. Where I mean, there's each and every province. So, I mean, how many of the ex-players that are there that are available? It's not about the young with the under-17s, but the schools football as well, where some of those guys can filter there, where they can gain experience and bring them up slowly but surely. But surely we have to invest in who we're looking for, especially in terms of the coaches, because this business of losing a coach and start looking, it don't work. So as long as we can actually see and invest in somebody that we want to take over and make sure that he's got proper qualifications, he's properly managed, and then making sure that, when we lose the one coach and we've got another one who already we've invested in to come in, which it's much better. I know the Vision 2020, and I know the structure that's there, where the coaches of the senior level have to maintain that dialogue with the coaches of the under 20, under 23, and then vice versa, where there could be that relationship, between the coaches. It's very, very, very important. Very, very important.
And you've spoken very highly of your former teammates and former national team players. They've been doing a great job, actually. If you look at the likes of your Eric Tinklers and what he's done with SuperSport United, that must be something that you look at it and like, I'm very proud.
I mean, it's very encouraging. I mean, now Benny McCarthy is with Cape Town City, which is great. At least that it gives other young and up-and-coming coaches an encouragement to say at least we'll have an opportunity to do that, possibly at the highest level, which is what we need. I mean, that's what is expected as well. I mean, yes, most of us, I mean, like me, coaching wasn't really my passion, but it depends on which level. But again, there are those who love. I mean, people like Helman Mkelele, he loves coaching and he wants to be a coach, and you give those kind of person an opportunity. Mark Williams, doctor who's a TD, not everybody will be a coach, but to see them getting opportunities like that, it's very encouraging for our football, and I think it has to continue, especially in the national level.
And I spoke to Mark one of the days, I think it was last year sometime, and he said he doesn't really want to be a coach, but he'd like to be just given the strikers. Just give me the strikers and
I think, I mean, I spoke to him recently as well, because we were doing something else together, and I think it will work. I think we've got goalkeeper coaches. Why can't we have the coach for the strikers? I mean, especially after we've had such successful strikers in the country. I mean, Phil Masting, Sean Bartlett, we had Mark Williams. I mean, we should draw the experience from those guys, and they're out and about, wasted. And for me, I think that's where we need to draw strength and ideas, going forward with the national team.
And if you look at the performances of our club teams and on the continent now, they've been great performances, encouraging performances. But the age-old problem that has come back to haunt South Africa is the striking problem.
Yeah, I mean, it's you know, if you don't win games if you don't score goals, and that's crucial, you know, in order to be successful and to compete. You can defend as much as you can, and if you don't score, there's a chance that you can lose the game. But again, we need to breed. We need to breed strikers. We've got Bernard Parkers. Who has done well. I mean, they've played abroad, but I think we need young and hungry, strong. Not just strikers, but the goal getters, you know, goal poachers, who will just want to score, who will want to stay in the 18 area, and the only thing they want is to just put the ball in the net. And that's the kind of people we need to breed.
And then, what do you think about the success of our teams on the continent? Does that breed hope that one day we can, as a national team now, can one day be on top once again?
It shows the talent that we have. I mean, SuperSport, Mamelodi Sundowns. I mean, they've showcased that we've got the quality that can compete in Africa. Because that's where we need to start. We need to compete here first and be successful at home, and then we can look at the World Cups, you know, Confederations Cups. But I mean, we've got youngsters like Pesitau, Zwane, who's absolutely great, you know. But then if you draw that talent and put it in the national team, you know, it's a different kind of environment. It's a different stage, and obviously you need proper setup, you know, to actually draw the best out of those players.